Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to us by our dear sister, and it reads like this. Your brother, if you were to see me at night, the time when I am possessed, you will faint or you will collapse. Because when the spirit of witchcraft comes and then it rests on my shoulders, I have a different face. I do not look beautiful. I even have the claws like I am a lion with big nails. And even my teeth, even the hunger that I have. There are those that might wonder, how is it possible that they say witches, they eat human meat? It is like you are possessed by another spirit that crave the meat of a human being and nothing else. And when you eat at night, being possessed as a witch, you don't even realize that you are eating human meat. It's like you are just enjoying biltong. I even keep some of it in my house. If you look at me right now, you think that you are just looking at an ordinary woman, a sister who came from another province to find a good life in Gauteng, but you have no idea what is inside my skin. The moment that the sun starts to go down, when it starts to lose its power as it is going down, then that is when the spirit of witchcraft, it wakes up and then it possesses me. I have been carrying the spirit of witchcraft since the year 2009. So I am here to tell you about witchcraft, how I got involved in witchcraft, and where I am right now in this journey as a witch. It all started when I got married. I was a young girl from Mpumalanga and I was raised in a village in Mpumalanga. My parents, they were not rich. We were just normal people from the village. My husband, he loved me, and when he asked to marry me, he had already been working in Johannesburg. Everyone was so excited because he was the man that I always wanted. He took me and he brought me to Gauteng. He promised me a good future. When he brought me to Gauteng, we started staying in Johannesburg to start our life together. But the job that he was doing, he always did not have money. You know, even though he went to university, but if you do not have connections, it becomes very difficult. He could not afford to get a proper job. Therefore, we could not afford to have a beautiful house in the suburbs. And we ended up in Soweto. We could not stay even in a complex, in a flat, just in Soweto. We were renting a small one-bedroom backyard, and it was behind the main house. Our lady, at first we did not know that she was a foreigner because she spoke perfect Zulu. She had been in South Africa for the longest time. Our landlady was an old Malawian woman who lived in the main house. She was quiet and she was old. She had kids and all of them had passed away. When I heard the first time when we started staying at her house that all of her children had passed away, I started to feel so sorry for him because I was like, this woman, she is old and she lost all of her children. What is going to happen to him in the future? But what I did not know at that time, that this woman, she had sacrificed all of her children. She was someone that was very nice, but she was rude at times. She did not talk that much. And I started to have dreams about him. The very first day when we started staying at her house, I started to see him in my dreams. You see, Brother Nashim, when I moved from a village in Mpumalanga coming to Soweto, it was something that I can say it shocked my system. I was someone that was used to be in a quiet place in the village, but in Soweto, everything is just fast. Everyone is just looking for money. My husband was a good man, but the problem was that my husband, the job that he was doing, he was not making a lot of money, and I became to feel so bored. He would leave me alone in our room. Sometimes he would go for days and days going to work in another provinces. I wanted a man that had money, even though I loved my husband. I would see other women being taken to hotels, going out with their boyfriends. And at the place where we were staying right next door, there was another woman who was enjoying the attention of men that had money. I wanted the same man that she was dating, and I started to live that fast lifestyle of the township. I fell into temptation the more that I became friends with other women in that same street that we were staying in Soweto. That is how I started cheating on my husband with a local guy from the street. He was a guy that had cash. He would buy for me things when my husband was not around, things that my husband could not even provide. One afternoon, whilst my husband was at work, the old Malawian landlady called me over to her back veranda. She looked at me for a long time, and then she started to ask me what was happening with my husband and my marriage. And I was afraid that she was going to expose me because it seemed as if she had seen me with my several boyfriends. Instead of threatening to tell my husband, she then said, "My child, I see that you are living a very normal life, but you want to also have men that can excite you. I'm going to give you a charm. I see that you have a boyfriend who is always coming here. You are playing a dangerous game. If your husband finds out, he is going to leave you or he can kill you. But I can help you. I have medicine from Malawi. It is a love potion that will lock him to you. Even if he sees you holding another man's hand, he won't even see you as if you are cheating on him. He will look at you and he will see nothing, feel nothing. It's like he will be like a zombie." I was desperate to protect my cheating lifestyle, brother. That was when I took the powder that she gave to me. When my husband returned back in the evening, I would put it into his pap, into his tea, into the stew. The effect, it happened within 3 days. My husband, he started to act as if he was a zombie. If I would be angry at him, he would kneel down, he would cry, and I would even bring my boyfriend. My boyfriend would come and take me right in front of my husband, and my husband would not even do anything. Shortly after I had made my husband to be like a zombie, every single night when I would go to bed, I would see myself almost inside a graveyard where I would see other women that I could not see their faces. Then I would find myself taken into another room where I would see a large wooden crate. On top of the crate, there was a pile of biltong. And I'll start to eat that biltong because I'll be so hungry. And when I would wake up in the morning, my mouth will be so dry. I would even drink more than 2 liters of water early in the morning. I could not understand what was happening. By mid 2009, I kept on having these dreams. I would be flying at night and I would see other witches. These were witches that I even knew, women that I did not know were witches, but they would come and visit me. By then, I had not yet been initiated. So, in order for you to become a witch, you are supposed to be initiated. And I was told that I am supposed to go to church so that people won't think that I am a witch doing good to people. In our family already, we were ZCC church members. So every Easter, we would go to Maria and then we would spend the Easter whilst we were there. So in that year, when I was nearly exposed at Maria, what happened was that I did not want to go, brother, but because my husband and his family, they wanted us to meet up with them. They would be traveling from Pumalanga. Then we meet at Maria. So we went there by force. My husband, he said, "Let us go. I want us to see our family then." When we arrived there at Moria, then that was when there was this other prophet. He was a young prophet. He came to me. Then he started to say, "You stand up." And I stood up. And then he started to say that he was seeing me in a vision, and I was eating biltong, and I was a witch. The biltong that I was eating, this meat, it was the meat of a human being. My heart stopped, Brother Nash, because I had been exposed. This was the truth. Even though I was laughing, but I was nervous when he was saying that you are eating the meat of a human being, you are a witch. The prophet declared that the next day I was going to be locked in the deliverance counseling room so that they can pray for me. Brother, when I heard about that, I wanted to run away. What was going to happen when I manifest? If they pray for me, everyone was going to know that there is a witch that has been caught at Moria. It was at around 9 p.m. I wanted to run away, but if I was going to run away, then people were going to know that she is a witch. That is why she ran away. There was this other elderly woman. She came and then she sat beside me and she held my hand. It was in the evening already. And then she said, "Do not cry, my child. The prophet who exposes you, he thinks that he can expose you. We are not going to allow you to be exposed." That is when I realized that even in the ZCC church, there are a group of women that are also witches. In each and every church, there are witches, and they bewitch the people from the inside. So then she took out some charms and she said, "Take this, and tomorrow morning when they pray for you, I want you to put it inside of your mouth, place it under your tongue like this, and you leave it there. It is going to protect you." The next morning, before they prayed for me, I took that root and I put it underneath my tongue before people would notice anything. The prophet, he prayed for more than 30 minutes, praying and praying. I just stood there. I was just standing. I was expecting, like everyone was expecting, that I was going to manifest. The demon of witchcraft was going to come out. But eventually, some people, they just came and then they said, "No, we have heard your prayers. This woman is not possessed by the devil. That charm, it had protected me." So they accused the prophet of not being a real prophet. He was doing false prophecies. So right then, that is how I was saved from public humiliation. And that prophet, he was stripped from being a prophet. The moment that he stopped going to the ZCC church, he relocated to another village. He started drinking alcohol because he could not understand what had happened. God had showed him a real vision of me eating human meat, but when he prayed for me, there was no manifestation that had happened. So then he stopped praying to God. The moment that he stopped praying to God, we saw our opportunity to attack him, and attacked him we did. And then he just had an accident and he passed away before he could even tell the people that he was seeing me sometimes late at night in his house as I was bewitching him. Even the time when he would be sick, he will say, you are that woman from Maria. I prophesied against you, so you are a real witch." Then I would laugh and I would say, "Who is going to believe you that I am a witch?" And then I returned back to Soweto. So to those that stay in crowded townships, like where I am staying in Soweto, brother, witchcraft, it is them because of what we call umona. It is jealousy. You see, when people live close to each other, you are all in poverty, and you are seeing the life of another person, you can become jealous very easy. When you go to bed hungry, the next door they are cooking, you are smelling nice food that they are cooking. So we do not target or bewitch people randomly. We target success. If a neighbor buys a brand new car, if your child graduates, gets a promotion at work, or if you start to renovate your house, you are putting face brick walls. This can keep us awake at night as witches. We cannot stand to see someone rising out of poverty. I want all of us to be poor because we are binded by poverty. We cannot see you moving out of Soweto to become rich. Never. So we will call upon the spirit of poverty, a covenant that we can use to destroy you. We will use witchcraft to level, like a leveling tool, to drag you back to where you used to be. We want everyone to crawl on the floor together. No one is supposed to come outside, because as a witch, you cannot do rituals to become rich. If we see that we can't do it, when we strike a successful neighbor, we can give him a terminal illness. All of your money will be finished treating cancer. We are clever, brother. What we do is that at night when we come to bewitch you, we wear the face of your innocent workmate, or we make sure that we look like that relative that you hate a lot from the village, and then you think that it is that relative that is bewitching you. When you go to the traditional healer or to the prophet to find out who is destroying your life, they will see that face of your colleague from work, your auntie from the rural areas, and you will start to do back to send that to the wrong people, yet the real witch might be living right next door to you. So most of the people, they think that they can protect themselves from etology. Do you know the reason as to why people, they put bricks on top of the legs of the bed? They think that they can protect themselves from etology. Some of you, you did not even know that the reason as to why most black people, they raise their beds, it is because they think that etology cannot climb onto the bed. That is an old lie that people, some believed that if you can put bricks and then the bed on top of the bricks, it will help you. No, that is not the reason why etology won't be able to enter into your house. Maybe salt can work, but there are etologists that do not mind to enter into your house even if you put salt. If we want to destroy your household, we can use anyone from Soweto, wake them up naked at night, and then we lead them to your house, and then they can plant Muthi in your yard. Then from there on, we will be able to enter, or we can even use your child, and we can enter into your house, and then we can curse you, we can feed you food, and you will be having a dream where you are eating nice food, even cake in your dream, yet we are feeding you Muthi. So, in fact, last week, I brought a Ben 10. I have a young boyfriend that I am dating that I also bewitched. He's a student from KZN, staying in Soweto, very handsome. I am dating him. I even brought him into our bedroom, and I told my husband to go into another room, and then we made and we had sex. It was very loud. Whilst my husband was in another room, he did not even hear anything. But honestly, I have reached a point in my life whereby I want to stop, brother. Sometimes I look at my husband, when he is walking, you won't even realize that he is a zombie, but he is a zombie. I want to stop being a witch, but I am afraid of the consequences, because in witchcraft, I have enemies that I have also created. I have also destroyed some other witches, and if they hear that I am now praying no longer a witch, they can destroy me. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister. Let us speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you imagine?